Hi there, Mike Chan here of Lumiere Skin and Spa. Do you know what language your body uses in order to communicate with you? Now, a lot of us try to get our bodies to do certain things like lose weight, produce more energy, sleep better, and so forth. But the problem is, a lot of us don't understand the language our bodies use in order to communicate. Much like a computer uses binary code of zeros and ones in order to interpret data, text, videos, pictures, sounds, our body operates via a feedback loop using enzymes, hormones, peptides, and other signaling molecules. Much like a computer, once you understand the code that your body uses, it will be that much easier to program and reprogram it. And that is exactly what you're doing every single day, programming your body. If your body right now is strong, youthful, full of energy, it is because you programmed it that way. But if on the other hand, if your body is prematurely aging, tired, overweight, and lethargic, it is also because you programmed it that way. It is not your environment, it is not your genes, it is not DNA, it's because of your programming. And if you want to reverse premature aging, then all you need to do is to reprogram your body. So what is a feedback loop and what is it for? A feedback loop is simply nothing more than a cause and effect mechanism. That means if you do a certain thing, there will be a corresponding effect within your body. And the body uses that feedback loop because it wants to maintain homeostasis. In English, that means the body wants to stay the same. Why? Because stability is necessary in order for it to survive. Other than in periods of rapid growth like infancy or puberty, or when a person is pregnant, the body strives to be in a homeostatic state, meaning it wants to stay in equilibrium. The Chinese call this balance of yin and yang. Now, let me give you an example. The body usually wants to maintain a blood pressure of 120/80. Why? Because if blood pressure climbs too high, it can lead to stroke, heart attack, and death. And if blood pressure drops too low, the same thing can happen. Stroke, heart attack, even death. And this is why the body tightly regulates all its biologic functions, from your blood pressure, your heart rate, your core temperature, even your body weight. Now, let me give you an illustration of how this works. The body likes to maintain a core temperature of around 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If the environment around you becomes too hot, the body will immediately try to cool itself by sweating. This dissipates heat by releasing water from your skin. And if the environment becomes too cold, the body will try to generate heat by shivering. This will release heat from your muscles. All of this happens automatically without you having to do anything about it. And this is one example of a feedback loop where your body is sensing its environment and automatically adjusting. So how are feedback loops and homeostasis relevant to health and aging? Any disruption in this feedback loop will cause a disruption in homeostasis. And if this disruption in homeostasis goes on for long enough, it will lead to premature aging and disease. Now, diabetes and obesity are prime examples of this, and I will be going back to that topic later on. But for now, I want to give you some ways in which you can communicate with your body using this feedback loop. One way is through the foods that you eat, and this is called nutrient sensing. Your body has the ability to sense the nutrients that you take in, particularly proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And based on these nutrients, it can initiate a physiologic adaptation. For example, taking in large amounts of carbohydrates will cause your body to release a hormone called insulin. Insulin is your fat storage hormone, in that one of its primary purposes is to take circulating fats and sugars from your bloodstream and store it inside your fat cells. Why does it do this? This is actually a survival adaptation. You see, back when we were developing as hominids, during the last ice age in particular, some 2.6 million years ago, winters were very long and food was very scarce during winter. So we had to find a way to store food inside our bodies when food was plentiful. and carbohydrates were plentiful during summer and the beginning of autumn, right before winter. So eating lots of carbohydrates became a signal for our body to begin storing fat. So here is how that particular feedback mechanism works. When you eat a lot of carbohydrates, your pancreas will release the hormone insulin to deal with all the circulating sugar in your blood. That's right, carbohydrates are converted into sugar when they enter the bloodstream. And when insulin is high, this will cause the upregulation of a hormone called LPL, or lipoprotein lipase, and GLUT4 receptors. And their jobs is to take circulating fats and sugars from your bloodstream and store them inside your adipose tissue or fat cells. And this is how you actually get fat. Now, also when insulin is high, its counter-regulatory hormone glucagon begins to drop. And when glucagon drops, another hormone called hormone-sensitive lipase, or HSL, also begins to go down. And hormone-sensitive lipase is the hormone needed in order to release fat from inside the fat cells. So you can see the beauty of this feedback loop. Once you tell your body to start storing fat, it will not only drive the mechanism to store fat faster, but it will also shut off the mechanism in order to release fat. So it's like turning on the faucet and plugging the drain. You're trying to build fat as fast as possible. And this is what allowed us to survive the long winters. This supreme adaptability is what allowed our species to survive the hottest deserts and the coldest regions of the north. Unfortunately, this adaptability is also a two-edged sword, and it can hurt you as much as help you if you don't understand how it works. Evolutionarily speaking, it wasn't possible for us to eat that much carbohydrates all year round, simply because carbohydrates were not available during winter. So the most common scenario would have been for us to fatten up during summer and autumn, and then to use all that fat up during winter. So during winter and right after winter, we would go back to eating animal-sourced foods, fats and proteins. And incidentally, fats and proteins do not trigger the same insulin spike as carbohydrates do. But now, thanks to technology, carbohydrates, particularly refined and processed carbohydrates, are available all year round. And so that metabolic switch that tells our body to store fat as fast as possible is turned on all the time. And this failure to understand this feedback loop, this way of our body communicating with us, is the reason why we are getting fatter and sicker as a species. Other ways you can knowingly or unknowingly affect this feedback loop is through the environment that you choose to live in, the movements that you choose to do every day, and even habits like smoking and drinking, so on and so forth. Once you realize that everything you do will affect how you physically age, then it becomes all the more important for you to understand the language that your body speaks, so you can tell it exactly what you want it to do, so you can program it towards health and youthfulness. And this is exactly why I created the 360 Anti-Aging program. It's to teach you how your body works, so that you can restore youthful functions and reverse premature aging. If you want to know more, just visit us at our website, www.lumiereskinandspa.com, or you can also check out our Facebook and Instagram pages, Lumiere Skin and Spa. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be releasing a new video every week to show you how you can reverse premature aging. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you're going to be notified every time I have a new video out. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks a lot for joining me. Again, I want you to remember, if you're not aging deliberately, chances are you're not aging well. Until next time, to your looks and good health, this has been Mike Chan. Have a nice day.